Well, good morning, everybody. And happy Thursday, y'all. Child, it is a beautiful day in my neighborhood, okay? And I really wish that it was a beautiful day in those Baltimore City neighborhoods, honey, that have been destroyed and tore down by, by our own people, okay? First of all, I just want to say that my heart goes out, okay, to the city of Baltimore. It goes out to, it just goes out to the city of Baltimore. As you all know, and for those of you who don't know, who are new to my channel, I am originally from Baltimore. Um, I was born and raised in Baltimore. I had 5 kids in Baltimore, okay? Um, I was in Baltimore for 45 years and some months. I just moved from Baltimore last summer, a few months before I turned 46. So I spent a great deal of time in Baltimore. And although when I left Baltimore, I did not live in Baltimore City, I have had my time of living in Baltimore City. And I don't mean nice little, quiet areas of Baltimore City, okay? I used to live on 21st and Greenmount. I used to live on Castle and North Avenue. I used to live on Baltimore Street, okay? So I've lived in some of these hood areas. Now, I must admit, the part of Baltimore Street that I lived on wasn't so-called hood neighborhood or the ghetto, where you just have just the poor, impoverished people. But 21st and Greenmount and Castle and North Avenue, yeah, I lived there, okay? So not far from those areas where I used to live over 20-something years ago, when my grown children were growing up. Those areas weren't far from where the big mayhem took place. Up at Penn North and North Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue and North. So although I do understand that people are upset and frustrated about the things that take place between the Baltimore City cops and the citizens, I understand the anger and I understand people wanting things to be done and wanting things to be changed. But tearing up your own city is not the answer, okay? The same cities that you're tearing up, you have to live in, okay? Your grandmother have to live there. Your sister and her babies have to live there. Your aunts have to live there. You have to live there, okay? So you're lashing out and you're tearing down the city that you have to live in, calling yourselves hurting the white folks, okay? Because that's who you mad at. You mad at the white folks, okay? And you think you're hurting the white folks by tearing up your neighborhood, okay? You think you're hurting the white folks because you're tearing down establishments that are owned by white folks. You think, because all those establishments that you tore down, believe it or not, were not all owned by white folks, okay? But I've been following this story profusely, okay, from where I live up here in New York. Now, they got out of order up here in New York City, okay, last night. Over 100 arrests, okay? They tearing up the city. But that's not the answer, okay? Because, like I said, I've been following this story profusely, and I've been listening to, the different interviews that they've been having with people. I've been watching YouTube videos of people speaking out on this situation. And, I hear people saying, who cares about them tearing up CVS and looting and burning CVS down? That's owned by the white people. Who cares? Well, let me tell you a little something about what is owned by the white people, and you think you're hurting them by tearing it down, okay? Let me just spit some knowledge out here, for those of you who are saying, yeah, tear it down, who cares? That's the white folks that own that. They're going to learn today. Let me tell you something about the white folks, okay, that you all think you're hurting. The white folks that own that CVS on the corner of Pennsylvania and North Avenue, you know how you didn't hurt them even though they own that establishment? Simply because, first of all, they own hundreds of CVS establishments, okay? That's not the only establishment that they own, okay? They own hundreds, okay, of CVS establishments, okay? So let me tell you what you did when you burnt down the CVS that was in your neighborhood, that somebody's grandmother that lived in that senior building next door depended on to get her medication, okay? It might not have been your grandmother, the folks that's out there saying, yeah, tear it up, go ahead, yeah, tear it up, just don't come and tear up my shit. Really? See, you're not inviting them to your quiet Baltimore County neighborhoods to tear up the stuff that predominantly white people probably own out there in Baltimore County. So you're not inviting them out there. Oh, I understand y'all angry. Yeah, come on out here and tear it up. It ain't nothing but white people that live on my street. Come burn these houses down. Come tear up these Walgreens out here. It ain't nothing but white owned stuff. Come on out here. See, you're telling people, go ahead and tear it up. I understand. They're going to learn today. But you're not inviting them to your quiet neighborhood, okay? You're not concerned about what you're saying out your mouth because it's not affecting you personally, okay? Your house not being burnt down. The houses around you, it's not being burnt down. Your neighborhood is not looking a hot mess. So you can easily sit back and say, oh yeah, tear it down. We mad. We sick of it. You can easily say that. Your grandmother don't live at that senior citizens building next door to that CVS. You and your quadriplegic son didn't live in that house next door to that liquor store. And that house got burnt down. They burnt down the liquor store, and it was houses connected to these liquor stores. The house directly next door to the liquor store, the lady and her quadriplegic son lived in that house. That house is burnt down to a crisp. That woman have no home now. Okay, she has no home. But you got our people out here who's saying, tear it down. Do what you got to do. I don't agree with the destruction, but I understand. No, I don't understand that bullshit, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. Like I said, I used to live in these neighborhoods that they're tearing up. And at the time, when I had my three grown children, they're grown now, 31, 27, 24 years old. But when they were growing up, these are the neighborhoods that I lived in, okay? I depended on them little corner stores that you all are looting, okay? Those corner stores helped me get Pampers when I couldn't get to some of the other bigger stores to get my baby some Pampers, okay? These little corner stores that were selling 3 Pampers for $1 or 4 Pampers for $2, I utilized them services, okay? Because at the time, I didn't have a vehicle, okay? I had to catch the bus to get wherever I had to go with 3 small children. So them little corner stores that y'all tearing up and looting, if I was living there at that time when all this was going on, I would have been greatly affected by this. So let me tell you something about the white person that owned that CVS that you thought you hurt. Okay? Let me just drop a dime. You hurt your own people, not them. Because you know what them white folks that own that CVS is going to do? They're going to call the police department. They're going to get somebody, probably a black cop, to come out and take a report. They don't shoot. This is not a race thing for me, okay? I'm not saying that they're not going to send a white cop. They're going to send a black cop. I'm just saying, maybe one of our cops is going to respond to the call of taking a report because the store was broken into, damaged, you know, burnt down, the whole thing. Only thing that white person that owned that CVS need is a police report, okay? They need that police report so that they can call their insurance company and say, look, my store got tore up. I lost all my products, all my stuff. I lost it. They burnt it down. Okay? Trust me, CVS got fire insurance, damage insurance. They got all that kind of insurance. Okay? So they sitting back. Okay? Their other stores is up and operating well. They get that police report, send that off. They getting themselves, this is just an example, $1 million check for the loss of the store. So they're going to take their $1 million and look at Baltimore City and say, see you bye. And they gone on with their little $1 million, which is probably way more money than they was even making. So they're really winning. Their insurance check is probably going to be way more than what they were actually making on the corner of Penn and North Avenue. So who's winning? You're not winning. They going to get their check. Meanwhile, grandma live in that building next door, that senior building. Where's she going to get her medication from? Where's the next nearest pharmacy for her to get her medication? Where is it at? Who even cares? Who even thought about the fact that by that CVS being so close to that senior building, how that could have affected anything? Who's to say that it wasn't somebody's grandmother in the CVS at the time when they bombarded it? In the back of the farm, in the back of the CVS, getting her medication. And all them people stormed in there, and that woman already on a cane and couldn't get out there fast enough, or her heart started hurting because it scared her so bad. See, it's easy to say, yeah, I understand. Go ahead and do what you got to do because we are angry. It's easy to say when it doesn't affect your grandmother, and it doesn't affect your sister and your aunts and your uncles. It's easy to sit back and say that. I'm not going to say, I don't agree with y'all tearing it down, but I understand. No, I don't understand the destruction of your own city. I understand being angry about things that are not, being handled properly when it comes down to the police department. But I don't understand how you're handling your anger, which is destroying your own neighborhoods. Your own neighborhoods. I challenge any of y'all that's out there talking about, oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, go ahead and tear it down. I bet you some of y'all live in Baltimore County, and you probably got a white cop that live on your block. Are you putting the word out there on social media? Hey, look, y'all, it's a white cop that live in my neighborhood. He live right down the street. Come on up here and tear his house down and burn his cars down. Just long as you don't hit my shit, I don't care. Really? So irresponsible to say those words out your mouth. I just hope and pray that through all of this stuff that's going on and that's continuing to go on, that none of your family members get hurt. Okay? I hope and pray that none of mine get hurt. I'm not condoning all that violence. I have family that live in Baltimore City. I used to live in Baltimore City. So stop saying, I don't agree with the destruction, but I understand. No, I don't ever understand somebody burning up other people's shit just because they angry about something. I don't give a damn if it's a white, purple, pink, black, or blue person. I don't care about who owns it, what the color of the person is that own it. That person that owned that property did not contribute to the death of any of these young black men out here on the street. And let me drop a little bit more knowledge on y'all, okay? Y'all all mad with white folks, okay? But check this out. Freddie Gray's, I don't know if it was the sister or the mom. They lost a male 18 months ago. I think they said she lost her son. I don't know if it was the sister that lost her son or the mother that lost a son. 18 months ago. And guess what? She didn't lose her son to a white cop or a white young man or a white old man. She lost her son to another black man. She lost her son 18 months ago to a black person. And now, 18 months later, she lost her son allegedly to as a result of the cops. I don't know all the story. So I can only say allegedly because I wasn't there. I don't know all the story. I don't have all the evidence. So I can't right out say, oh yeah, they had to have messed that man up because he was fine before. No, listen, I wasn't there. So I can't say what the heck happened to that young man. I feel sorry for whatever went on down in there. Definitely something wasn't right. But I can't say who did what. All I know is this young man is gone allegedly as a result of some policemen that did the wrong thing. I don't know if those 6 policemen that they're talking about, I don't know if they're white or black or mixed in there. I don't know. I'm curious to know. Just for my own curiosity. Were all these cops white? Or did you have some blacks in that mix of those 6 who allegedly severed this man's spine and crushed his vocal cords? Okay? So, no. I don't understand destroying your own neighborhoods. You're not hurting the white people by doing what you're doing. The white people didn't depend on that CVS at Penn and North Avenue, people. The white people didn't depend on that. Now, just put a, maybe there are some white people that live in that neighborhood who do depend on it. I'm not going to just broadly say no white people depended on it. But the majority of people who depended on it was our people, our black people. So like I said, you thinking you hurting white folks because you tore down that CVS. No, honey, they're winning. They're going to get their insurance check and keep it moving. Okay? And let me drop a little bit more knowledge on you about something that you all who are responsible for looting and tearing up these stores. I guarantee you that it was a sister that worked in that CVS on Penn and North Avenue. Okay? I can relate because I used to be a young woman with 3 kids trying to raise my kids and work. And at that time, when I was out there working and struggling, trying to raise 3 kids on 21st and Greenmount and Castle and North Avenue where I lived, I depended on every single day and every single hour of my paycheck. Okay? I wasn't fortunate enough to have sick time and leave time and all this kind of time so that if I missed a day from work, I can still get paid. If I didn't go to work, I didn't get paid, okay? That's the train I was on, okay? So it was very important for me to get up every day and go to work for the whole 8 hours. Not go to work and it be closed down at 12 o'clock because of some nonsense that's going on in the city, okay? I couldn't afford for my job to close down early. I couldn't afford for my job to be closed. I couldn't afford to not be able to go to work, okay? So let me just drop this little scenario, okay? For instance, it could have been a young woman. I don't know who all worked in that CVS, but let's just check this out. Young girl, 3 kids. She catch 2 buses and a train to get to that CVS on Penn and North so she can go to work. Okay? Her payday is this Friday coming up tomorrow. Okay? And not only is payday tomorrow, rent is due tomorrow, May the 1st. Okay? Check it out now. This young lady has no job now because our people burnt the place down. Okay? Do you really think that she was expecting to go to work tomorrow and when she got off, get her little paycheck, go 2 doors down the street to the check cashing place that y'all burnt up because she don't have a bank account. And you know, she don't have a bank account. Okay? She depends on that check cashing place. I'm only speaking from my own experience. This is what I was going through. I didn't have no bank account when I was raising my 3 kids, 20-something years old. I depended on check cashing places. And even if I did have some kind of bank account, I couldn't go all the way downtown when I got off work to go to a bank. At that time, banks closed at 2 o'clock. So I couldn't make it to the bank when I got off of work with my paycheck at 5 o'clock. Banks is closed. So I depended on check cashing places to cash my check. So this young lady catches 2 buses and a train to get to her job. She's expecting to go to work Friday, do her job, get her paycheck at 5 o'clock, go 2 doors down the street so she can cash it, get her money orders so she can pay her rent. The rent man coming tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, to pick up his rent. Now, this young lady don't have a job, okay? The place is burnt down to the ground. Okay? Do you really think she's going to get a paycheck Friday? Where's she going to get it from? I'm not saying eventually she won't get her last paycheck from CVS, but she not going to pick up no paycheck Friday from where? Where's she picking up a paycheck from? So she not getting no paycheck Friday. What's she going to tell the rent man? Oh, well, look at the news because my job got burned down, so the check I was expecting I'm not going to get. Really? Landlord don't want to hear that. What this woman going to do? Her rent is due May the 1st. Y'all going to help her out? Y'all going to come together and do, you know, a collection? The church is going to get together and do a collection for the women that can't go to work and they can't get that paycheck they was expecting Friday so they can pay their rent and buy Pampers at the corner store that y'all done burnt all them down. I saw a little clip on the news. The lady, the next day, this stuff happened Monday. Tuesday, the girl was walking down the street on North Avenue with a stroller. She had a baby in a stroller. She had 2 kids on the side, 2 small children. The news got a hold of her. She said, I'm trying to find a store so I can get my baby some Pampers. She said, every store I go to is closed or they done looted it and tore it up. CVS is definitely done. So this lady is walking up and down North Avenue looking for a nearby corner store so she can get her baby some Pampers. I can relate to that. I depended on them corner stores to get Pampers sometimes when I couldn't get on the bus and get to the main stores, the markets or whatever, to buy Pampers. So when you're doing this destruction, you don't really realize the indirect effect that you're having on people. All you know is we're angry and this needs to happen and white people going to learn. What are they learning? Them white people are sitting back looking at y'all like, well, why is you tearing up your neighborhood? You're not hurting white people tearing up that CVS. They got insurance. Big time. You hurting that young lady who worked at that CVS. You hurting that grandma that lived in that senior building next door. That's who you hurt. So stop tearing up your own shit. And people, stop telling them, yeah, tear it up. If you don't get what you want, they ain't giving you answers, tear the shit up, burn the shit down. But don't come and tear my shit up, y'all. See what I'm saying? Foolishness, foolery, and fuckery. If you out there talking about, I don't agree with the destruction, but I understand, tear it up. We sick of this shit. But don't come in my neighborhood with that shit. You wrong for that. You are wrong for that. And like I said, it's a lot of young women out there that was just like me, struggling, trying to raise kids, catching buses, depending on every hour and every day of a paycheck, living paycheck to paycheck, couldn't afford to miss a day to even go to the hospital for a checkup. Those people are suffering right now. Those people are suffering. They closing down buildings because of this situation, so people are losing time from work. Everybody don't have sick leave. Some people are really being affected by this indirectly. The check cashing place on Penn North that they tore down, the owner is a black woman, y'all. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but they caught up with her the other day. Like I said, I've been watching this thing profusely. And the woman that owns that check cashing place was a black woman. She wasn't white, she was black. And she said, y'all, these people out here laughing and having a good time out here, because at the time when they interviewed her, things was kind of peaceful. They were out there, having peaceful protests, and they were singing and dancing and had music and had bands. I mean, they had, dancers out there dancing, and they had, parades and all that stuff going on, just having a happy-go-lucky time. Meanwhile, this woman, okay, black, standing in front of her check cashing place. Like this. So all I'm saying is, for whoever's listening, destruction is not the answer. Whether you're destroying your own neighborhood or you're going to the white people's neighborhoods, either way, it doesn't matter. Destruction is not the answer. And for those of you who are, and again, for those of you who are out here saying, I understand, I don't agree with destruction, but I understand. Tear it up. Just don't come to my neighborhood, because I got a quiet neighborhood. Don't come out here with that shit. Really? Yeah. Shut your goddamn mouth. It's easy to sit in your quiet Baltimore County neighborhood and say that shit as long as they ain't coming down your street with that bullshit. As long as they ain't burning up that Walgreens you go to. Okay? It saddens me because, like I said, at the time when I was raising my 3 kids, my son had asthma. So when I would take him to Johns Hopkins and they would give me 2 and 3 prescriptions, I couldn't catch 2, 3, 4 buses all the way downtown or all the way wherever to go get no prescription. I depended on the little corner CVS or the little corner Rite Aid to get my son's medicine filled. I couldn't go all over Baltimore City. Them corner CVS's and Rite Aids serves a purpose for our people. I needed those services at that time, and I'm sure it's a whole lot of other women out there that need them services that y'all tearing up. When you going Foot Locker and you taking shoes and running out there with clothes and shit, what, really? You doing that because you mad at who? Really? Going in the hair store stealing bundles of hair and all that kind of bullshit, really? Wow. shit. You're not hurting white people. You're hurting yourselves. So let me just clarify and wrap this all up, okay? I understand people being upset about what is going on. I don't understand how people are handling being upset. I don't understand how you're reacting to being upset. Be upset. Protest. Stand in front of City Hall. Go down to the commissioner's office. Go in front of the police stations and protest and speak out and let them know what you're feeling. But don't go burn up the corner store. Don't go busting inside of the mom and pop stores and tear them up. Don't go burning up people's cars. 144 cars got burned up. Were those all white people cars that y'all burned up? Or do you know? See what I'm saying? That's not fair. One of them people that owned them cars had to be black. And they depended on that car to get them to work. 144 cars. Really? Wow. So, yeah. You need to think. And let me just put this out here, okay? When you see little Johnny being arrested by the police, and you see them roughing him up more than necessary, and you see them throwing him all around when he's not resisting, and they kicking him and putting their foot all in his neck and back and beating him, and then when the paddy wagon come, they take him and they throw him in the paddy wagon and slam the door. You know what you do? See, for some reason, this is just keeping it real, keeping it 100. Our people, okay? Yeah, I'm talking about my goddamn people. They stand amongst themselves and cuss and fuss and, oh, that ain't right what y'all doing to him. Y'all motherfuckers ain't got no business doing. Y'all amongst ourselves, we out there raising ruckus. It's 200-300 people at the scene watching them tear little Johnny's ass up. And they fussing and cussing and raising hell, cussing the police out, okay? Once little Johnny get in the paddy wagon and the police gather up all their little shit and get in their cars and go, where do them 200-300 people, what do? They stand amongst themselves, cuss, fuss, and then they go on about their merry way. How many of them 200 and 300 people actually get on the phone and call the police station and say, look, I'm witnessing an arrest going on. And these cops is really being unprofessional. They kicking, they scratching, they doing everything. How many of them 200-300 people that's out there witnessing that and cussing and fussing actually makes a phone call? I'm not saying nobody makes a phone call, but how many of them 200-300 people that's crowding around watching and cussing and shit, how many of y'all are calling down to City Hall and reporting it? Calling down to the police station and speaking to the captains? How many of y'all are writing letters about this bullshit? See, you fuss and argue amongst yourselves. Everybody that's out there fussing and cussing needs to come together and make phone calls to the City Hall, the police department, everybody. Let them know what you're seeing. Write letters. That's how you get stuff done. Oh, I ain't calling because don't nothing happen. I've been calling, ain't nothing happened because it's not enough people to draw the attention to it. If all them 200-300 people out there at the scene that watches these young men get tore up every day in an unprofessional manner, if all of them people made phone calls right when it's happening and wrote letters, they would bring more attention to how these guys are being arrested. So stop arguing and cussing and fussing amongst yourselves and get on the phone collectively, not just 1 or 2 people here and there, or 10 people here and there. Out of 300, only maybe 10 phone calls. That's just a little bit of advice. Stop talking about it and be about it. Make calls and write letters. All of y'all, not just a few, because a few ain't going to get it done. The majority gets the attention. And you feel like, well, this is getting their attention now. No, it ain't. It's getting negative attention. It's getting media attention. It's getting us looking like fools. It's getting them saying, look, I told you they was animals. Look at them jumping on top of cars. They look like monkeys. They acting like animals. That's what you're getting. Ain't shit changing though. Huh. So that's my take on it. That's what I think about the Baltimore Riots. yeah, I'll talk to you later.